Hey everybody, I'm Backlas of the Crossover the River Outdoors, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of It's Hunting Time. And today I want to talk a little bit about how to use a box call. Maybe you're a new turkey hunter that's coming up this year, getting ready to go out for the first time, and you're wanting to learn how to call, wanting to pick up a call that's easy for you to use. A box call is where it's at if you're a new turkey hunter. Pretty much every turkey hunter that goes to the woods has a box call with them, and I'll tell you a little bit why in just a second. But first off, the way a box call is designed, they got their name because they are a wooden box, evidently. The inside of the box is cut out, as you can see here. It's hollow on the inside, and that's where you get most of your sound from. Now you can notice this box here, this is a special box. It's got the thumb groove cut out of it. Most of your other box calls, like I've got another one here in my pocket, and this is going to be your standard box call, which you're going to find more often. They've got two sides going instead of having a cut groove. This one here is especially designed. So the way a box call works is usually they're just one-sided. You see this side's kind of a fatter end, and this side has a sharp ridge. So what it's going to do is on the paddle, you're going to take the paddle and drag that paddle across that sharp ridge. You're going to put chalk on the back side of the paddle here, and when you drag that paddle across, you're going to get sound just like that off of that ridge, and it's going to grab and catch and make that whining noise. So that's how you get your sound from it. And like I said, on the other box call I showed you, it had the sharp ridge here, but it has another sharp ridge. So some box calls you can call on multiple sides. Like this one here, you can call on both sides. Most of your other box calls are like this one, you can only call one side or the other. But anyways, to start off with, for turkey calling, the easiest call for somebody to make right off the bat is a yelp. And a yelp is real simple to do on a box call. All you're going to do is you're going to hold, you got the box call in your hand, you're going to hold the paddle over to the side, and what you're going to do is you're going to pull that lid, the lid of the box, across that high ridge of the box right here. And when you pull it across, you get that loud sound. And you're going to notice it's going to start high, and when I get to the end of the box, when I close it, almost like I'm closing the coffin right here, it gets low. And that's what a hen does. You can't really tell, but when a hen's yelping, she's starting off on a high pitched sound, and then she's going to slur that with a low sound. But she's going to put it together a little bit tighter, so it's going to be more choppy. So you first start off, to learn how to do it, you start off, you pull it across, and that's your note. You just speed it up a little bit now, so it's going to sound like this. That's a yelp right there. It's simple to do, and there's multiple ways that you can hold a box call. You can hold it upside down. This is how I like to hold mine. I like to hold them upside down, and I use the paddle, and I'll strike with the paddle like this. Most people hold it like this. It's just personal preference, whatever feels the best to you. But you want to make sure that when you're making the calls that you have a good sounding notes, and it's fluid, all the way across. A mistake that a lot of people do when they're using a box call, especially when they're yelping, when you make that first note, you want to make sure that you drag the lid back across the ridge of the box. A lot of people, when they make them notes of the yelp, they'll pick the lid up and they'll bring it back over and they'll do it again. What you want to avoid doing that, because it's not going to sound realistic. It's going to have more of a kind of a cluttered type sound. I'll give you a demonstration of it. This first time I'm going to do it, I'll pick the lid up and bring it over, and you'll hear what it sounds like. It just doesn't really sound like a hen. It sounds more like somebody trying to make a hen yelp than an actual turkey. But now on this time, what I'm going to do is when I make that note and I go to make my second note, I'm going to drag the lid across the ridge of that box to get the next sound, and you'll hear the difference right here. It's just got a lot more smooth, better sound to it. So that's how to make a yelp call on a box call. So the next call that you're going to want to learn how to use on a box is probably going to be your cluck. Clucks are pretty easy to do too, no matter what type of box call you got. This box call is called the box cutter, made by Primos. I've had this call for a long time, and it was designed mainly for doing clucks and cuts and cutting on it. That's why the thumb groove's there. This call makes it easy because I can put my thumb right in the groove here. Now what you're going to do to make a cluck is you're going to, whether it's on this call here that's got the groove, the thumb groove cut in it, or a regular call, regular box, you're going to grab a hold with your thumb of the lid. You'll have the lid of the box over just like you would start a Yelp. You're going to lightly put pressure on your thumb right here, holding that box, holding that lid down, and then all you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand and just tap it. That's a cluck. It's pretty simple to do, especially on this box call, but like I said, you can do the same thing on a different style box call. We can do it the same way. Just hold your thumb over it, grab it, and just now you don't want to hold it down, hold your thumb too hard on the paddle, because if you hold it too hard, that lid's not going to bounce back. So you want to just softly hold it. Put enough pressure on it that it won't get away from you, but light enough so when you hit it, that lid can bounce back and you can get your next cluck out of it. Pretty simple to do right there. So that's your cluck. A cluck is a turkey, they'll be maybe feeding or sitting up on a limb, and they'll just be kind of clucking. Now the next step to going a little bit further into it is cutting and cackling. And that's where you're really going to get a lot of action from a gobbler, make them really sound off, because it's a fast, exciting sound. Gobblers are going to react to it a lot better, and that's just rapid clucks. You know, a hen that's rapidly clucking, and it'll sound just like this. And the same thing, I'm going to hold it with my thumb just like this on any box call. You grab the lid like this, and when you tap it, you're going to be have a little bit more action and a little bit more speed to it, and it'll sound like this. That can also be used as a fly down cackle. When a hen is up on a limb and she's getting ready to fly down, she'll be clucking a little bit. And then when she goes to fly down, she's going to pick it up and get real excited as she flies down, and it'll sound like this. If you really want to get a gobbler to fire up, that call right there is going to get them to gobble more times than not. And the same thing, you know, the way I do it is I hold it upside down, and I'll use the paddle. I'll put my fingers in between the lid here on the paddle here, and I'll just do it. I'll just strike that lid up against the ridge. And you can get your cuts. Pretty simple to do. I mean, like, that's why a lot of people most everybody has a box call. They're simple to use, and if you're just starting out in turkey hunting and turkey calling, this is where it's at. Easy, and like I said, you can pick it up, and like the day you buy it, you can learn how to use it and go out and kill a turkey. The next call that I will show on a box call, and it's not used a lot on a box call, but sometimes it'll make the difference on whether or not you call that turkey in the last few yards to kill him or not. It's kind of a purr, kind of a whinish purr sound, and you know, on a box, all you're going to do is you're going to put pressure on the lid a little bit more, and instead of dragging it fast, you're just going to kind of lightly, slowly drag it across, and you'll get this sound. Sounds like a hen purring. You can do that and then add some little clucks into it. Like I said, a lot of people don't do that too much on a box call, but if it's the only call you have and you need to make that sound, it'll work for you. And sometimes that's all it takes to bring them the last few yards in the shooting range. So that's a box call for you, all wrapped up in the one. They're great to have. Like I said, every turkey hunter pretty much has them in their bag, and there's a reason for it. So if you're just new to starting out in turkey hunting, maybe this is the first call you should get if you haven't bought a call yet. And that's how you use it. They're easy to use, and man, they will kill some turkeys. And the last thing I will say about a box call is they're also really good for locator calls, because you can get a lot of volume out of these boxes. The sound will carry a lot more, and like I said, you can really get some action on it. So for instance, if I'm like going along trying to strike a turkey up, if I didn't hear nothing off the roost and I'm just walking the property trying to figure out where they're at, get one sounding off, this is what I'll do. I'll just go along and I'll yelp a few times. I'll put a little bit more pressure on the lid so I have a little bit more volume to it. If I don't hear nothing in the first yelp, what I'll do is I'll yelp again and then I'll add some cuts to it. Great way to locate a turkey right there. So, if you're new to turkey hunting and you're trying to learn, I hope this helps you out a little bit and gives you a little bit of insight. Thank you for watching this video. And like I said, if you are new to this channel, watching this channel, Crossover River Outdoors, please go and click on the subscribe button. If you learned something from this, also give us a comment below and let us know how y'all liked it. And like I said, we appreciate everybody following along with us on our channel. Check out the rest of our videos that are coming up. And thank you, good luck in the turkey woods, and stay tuned for more exciting videos from Crossover the River Outdoors Productions. Y'all have a great day. Crossover the River Outdoors YouTube channel. Please subscribe today.